Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and welcome to Mail Monday. 2 quick points before we get to the letters. One, this is a pretty aggressive game of Capture the Flag against good players. It's from a live stream, so these guys are just like you. The other thing I wanted to call out was that I made a special effort to grab questions that I had never answered before. So you're not going to see the typical, Woody, I'm in the friend zone, what am I going to do? Woody, I'm feeling depressed, what should I do next? Which, you know, I care for you, but I've covered that a lot. And, or the, everybody's favorite, Woody, how do I last longer? So let's get started. So this is one of those situations where I rewrote the letter a little bit to make it more anonymous than the original version. Hey Woody, I have a wife and son in elementary school. Next door there's a mom and a boy that matches my son's age. Our kids hit it off and immediately became best friends forever. Awesome. They've been playing for a while when I received some disturbing news. The BFF's mom is a convicted sex offender. And he linked this story to her, and without giving you any details, let's just say that she's legit and her sex offense was relevant. I have no idea how to proceed other than the fact that I need to keep my son in my yard and maybe have a talk with her. I hate it most for my son since he's made a great friend. How would you proceed in dealing with this situation? So I've given this one a ton of thought. I actually been thinking about it for like a week now, and I talked to my wife about it. I read other advice columnists on the same topic, and it's a super tough one. But here's where I come down on this thing. I think the kids can still be friends, which seems to be where you're lining up to. I think it would be tragic for the 5-year-old boy to suffer for his mother's mistakes. I think that would really suck. I think, like, if it were me, the conversation with the sex offender mom would be an easy one. Like, you know, your conscience is clear. You didn't do anything wrong. You're more than free to talk to her and say, look, I saw the story about you. It's a terrible thing, and I'm sure you regret it. But where we are right here is I'm not comfortable leaving my son with you. I think it's fantastic that our kids are best friends. I don't want that to end, but it's going to happen at my house if it's going to happen at all. And that's that, right? I expect that this mom, who's probably already suffering and greatly regrets, her acts, is going to be okay with that. She's going to walk into this thing and be like, yeah, all right, I'll take what I can get. That it kind of sucks. Like, there are lots of other crimes that you can commit where after you've sort of done your time, you get to restart. But sex offenders, especially ones against children, there's an understandable thing here where it's like, yeah, you don't get to just hit the floor running and start hanging out with my kids when you just did that. I have every right to be cautious, and that's where she is, and I think that she understands that. My guess is that she if you tell her, look, I can't leave you alone with him, and that's how this thing's going to go down, I bet she nods her head and says, yeah, I know, I can't hand out Halloween candy either, that's just where I am. And then for me, like, maybe someday she'll gain your trust. Maybe, right? That process could take a long time. It could take 10 years. It could take 15 years. Maybe she never fully gains your trust, but it gets to the point where your kid's, 15 and she's in her golden years and you're like, yeah, she might be dangerous, but, look, my kid's, the starting wide receiver for the football team, and I don't have to worry about, this woman doing anything that he doesn't want to happen. So, it could go down like that. That's where I am on this. I think they can still have a relationship, and that you need to have that conversation so that she doesn't accidentally invite your son over, so that she doesn't do anything terrible. And by the way, you can tell your son that he's not allowed to play at his friend's house. He doesn't need to know why, but at 5 years old, my experience is they can be pretty obedient, and it'll work out okay. So that's my line of thinking. It sucks that this happened. It sucks that you have to deal with this. And it super sucks that the kids involved have to deal with this thing. But that's where I come down. On a related topic, I mentioned it to my wife, and she said she would immediately end the friendship, and that the kids couldn't know each other anymore and things like that. That's not where I come down on this thing. I don't know what would happen if it was in my house and we disagreed about this, but that's where she was. And I wonder where your wife is on this, if she matches your line of thinking where you just talk to the mom, or if she matches some other line of thinking. But good letter. Hey Woody, I'm 16 and I have acne. Not so much on my face, mostly on my chest and back. I've tried Proactive and a bunch of others. I'm healthy, I work out, and I keep in shape. I don't understand why I have it so bad. Anyway, even though I could hide it from my girlfriend, she knows something's up. She was rubbing my back and she felt a bump, and I immediately got up and made some bullshit lie. The next day, she wanted me to go swimming with her, and again, I made up a lie. Please, Woody, help me. Response would be nice. I once dated a girl that had, like, I guess what I'll call minor league acne, and I thought she was amazing. I thought she was an incredible person, and it was a secret that I kept and still do, really. I never ever said a thing to anybody ever. And, we have never even talked about it, but it was kind of this, like, unspoken thing. Like, she knew I knew, and I knew that she knew I knew, and we both knew that I would never betray her. But that's not really how I want to talk about this. How I want to talk about it is like acne prevention. So first of all, you say you don't know why you have acne? It's because you're 16, dude. Hormones stimulate oil glands. Oil glands get clogged and infected, and now you've got a pimple. That's all that's going on there. In UK, they call them bumps, which I think is a nice, like, a nicer way to say it than like pimple or zit or whatever the Americans would say. The number one thing is stay clean. Now, I don't mean to imply you're dirty, but, what I actually do mean to imply is you're a teenager and you might need to stay super clean, right? You might need to achieve a level of cleanliness to avoid this that you won't have to when you're 25. When I hear back and chest acne, the first thing I think of is how often are you changing the sheets on your bed, right? And again, I don't mean to call you some sort of dirtbag. That's not what I'm going for. But, if this is something you want to solve, this is a huge part of it. And I don't think it's crazy to change them every day. Or another option, like if changing your sheets every day is some like weird thing to manage, is to throw a towel down on the bed as you sleep on it. And, just have a fresh towel, sleep on the towel, next night, flip the towel, and then, every other day you put a fresh towel on your bed, and now you have the equivalent of brand new sparkling clean sheets that you're sleeping on. And that's going to be a step in the right direction, right? And you never know what the silver bullet is with these things, but there probably is one, right? It might be a medicine. It might be new sheets. It might be, for people who have it on their face, new pillowcase, right? Or throw a towel on your pillow. That sort of thing can make a gigantic difference. And what's notable about this to me is that we can fix this, right? For some people, having acne as a teenager really, really sucks. Like, super sucks, right? For some people, it's this, I don't know how to explain it. It ruins the 4 years that they're in high school compared to what they could have been. And for such a solvable problem, for something that you could make better, I hate that. I hate that that's an issue for people. So that's why I'm doing this. Anyway, tip number one, stay clean. And by staying clean, a lot of that has to do with, what you're sleeping on, right? You're taking your body and you're compressing it on sheets every day for a long time. And if these things have had 2 weeks worth of, your oil and dead skin buildup on them, then that could be the cause. Another cause, and this is just a simple, quick one, greasy food, right? Greasy food can make you oily. Being oily can cause acne. Period. That's it. So, if you're downing all sorts of cheesy fast food meals, then and you want this to go away, then that might be a step in the right direction. Just get that done. Avoid the greasy foods. It's not chocolate. That's a myth, but it actually is greasy foods, and that's that. Another thing is, consider seeing a dermatologist if this bothers you enough, right? What I don't want to happen, and I get this in my Mail Mondays all the time, is that people have some sort of medical issue, right? Often it's somewhere related to their reproductive system, but it can be their digestive system, or, like it could be your skin. What I don't want for people to happen is for them to not get medical care because they find it an uncomfortable topic to bring up with their parents. That really stinks, right? It shouldn't be like that. So if you say to yourself, Mom, can I see a doctor about, the pimples I've been having on my back? It's impacting me and I don't want it to go on anymore. She should say yes. She should be like, yeah, we'll take you to a dermatologist. Maybe they'll give you some sort of prescription and you'll be good to go. That's, don't not take care of yourself because you're embarrassed. And that's not just, you as the teenager embarrassed version of yourself. When you turn, 25 and you can't have a baby, then, don't not have kids because you're embarrassed of that. It's just stupid. I just listened to this again. I don't mean to imply that acne and baby are somehow related. I'm just talking about other things that can also be embarrassing. When is the right time to use violence? So I'll summarize for the sake of time. This guy is big, this guy is strong, and this guy is the nicest person you'll ever meet. He has this group of guys giving him a hard time. They're saying things under their breath, and they're doing this gesture when he walks by. And he wants to know, like, is it okay to go to that next step? You know, how do we get this to stop? There are some people in this world who say violence is never the answer, and I'm not one of them. I'm one of those people that says actions have consequences, and actions should have consequences. I'm not down for, you know, beating guys up who are running away, right? That's bully behavior, and that doesn't sound like you. But I am absolutely down for confronting people who need that. And it sounds like that, you know, what these guys are talking crap about you under their breath. They're doing gestures as you walk by. What makes them think that they can just do that forever without any kind of consequence? No, there absolutely should be a price to pay for being a horrible person. I think your first step is to talk to them about it. And if you're lucky, they'll do something stupid and take it to the next level. If you're not, then I guess they'll just be idiots and carry on with that. But either way, you know, they should know that you're not just going to, you know, look down at your feet and walk in the other direction, because you deserve better than that, right? You shouldn't have to run scared from this thing. You should feel like you can keep your head high and you know, have these guys put in their place. All right, if you liked the video, be sure to give it a like. If you're new around here and you like the video, you can click on subscribe in the top right. 2 videos you may have missed. The top one is why Google Plus failed, which, like, I listened to, and I actually like this commentary by myself. I think I'm interesting. And the bottom one is a channel update where I talk about, you know, some of the things I'm going through with the live streams and where the channel's headed, and you know, pretty good video. But those are 2 things you may have missed, and have a good day.